Okay, this actually happened. I dropped my phone, not because I was clumsy, but because I saw this number, 2.8 billion streams, for one album, and the artist behind it? Jimin. Park Jimin. This isn't just a big deal, this is a moment, a milestone, a whole era. And honestly, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. Let's slow this down for a second. Jimin's second solo album, Muse, just surpassed 2.8 billion streams on Spotify. That's not just massive, it's record-breaking. This makes Muse the first and only Korean-language solo album in history to reach that number. Not just for this year, ever. And the only K-pop album from 2024 to do so. But here's where it gets wild. The song that carried this album to the top? Who? It's soft, it's haunting, it clings to your chest in the quiet moments. And somehow, it became the longest charting K-pop song on the US Billboard Hot 100, sitting there for 33 straight weeks. Just imagine that, 33 weeks where a Korean language song stood shoulder to shoulder with the biggest English hits in the world. And it's not just Who making noise. Let's talk about Closer Than This. This song wasn't made for charts or clout. It was made for fans. For us. And somehow, it still racked up over 276 million streams. Why? Because people listened. Not once, not twice, but on repeat, because it meant something. Be Mine? Over 242 million. Smeraldo Garden Marching Band? 220 million. Yes, Jimin put a song with marching band in the title and made it sound like a fairy tale you never want to leave. These aren't just tracks. They're moments frozen in melody, stories written in sound. And then there's Slow Dance, sitting just shy of 100 million streams, even though it's one of the most quietly beautiful tracks on the album. Like a secret you want to keep but can't help whispering to everyone you meet. Even the intro and interlude, Reverse and Showtime, which don't have the flashiness of a single, have passed 85 million and 70 million streams respectively. Think about that. No lyrics, no promotions, and still, millions are pressing play because the feeling is enough. This isn't just an album doing well. This is a full body of work where every single track passed 70 million streams. That's unheard of. And if you think that's all, think again. Muse also became the longest charting K-pop solo album on Billboard's main album chart, the Billboard 200. It stayed there for 34 weeks. That's more than half a year. An album in Korean. By a solo artist, holding its own in the most competitive music market in the world. And here's the twist in the story. Jimin isn't even promoting this album right now because he's serving in the military. He's not online, he's not doing interviews, he's not releasing performances, and still, his music is thriving. Still, Muse is climbing. Still, his presence is felt. That's power. Mark this date, June 11, that's when he's officially discharged. And if you think 2.8 billion streams is the peak, we're just getting started. Something tells me the world isn't ready for what comes next. Because Jimin didn't just make a successful album. He created a timeless story, wrapped in vocals, laced with emotion, and delivered with heart. Muse isn't background music. It's the kind of album you carry with you, in your headphones, in your chest, in your memories. So if you're wondering whether you should stream Muse again today, the answer is always yes. Not for the numbers, but for the way it makes you feel. I'll see you in the next one. But for now, go hit play.